Lil Durk has just suffered a crushing blow to his career and his legacy, as reports confirm that the Chicago rapper has been temporarily sentenced to over 20 years in prison while the courts wait for further evidence. And if that proof never comes, this might very well become his final sentence, meaning he could lose everything he's built over the years: his audience, his empire, his grip on OTF, and most importantly, his role in keeping King Von's legacy alive, which is why fans and even the streets are saying that Durk absolutely cannot afford to lose this trial. Now, let's take a deep dive into what all this really means, how we got here, and why the stakes are bigger than just one man. They're about the survival of an entire movement. To start, let's be clear. A 20-year sentence in hip-hop is more than just jail time. It's a death sentence for an artist's career, because the music industry moves at lightning speed. What's hot today will be forgotten tomorrow, and artists who disappear for even a year often struggle to find their footing again, let alone someone who could be away for 2 decades. For Lil Durk, who has spent over a decade clawing his way out of Chicago's trenches into the heights of mainstream rap stardom, this sentence isn't just about losing time. It's about losing everything. His streaming numbers will plummet, his fan base will grow detached, and eventually the new generation of listeners will replace him with someone else. And when that happens, OTF as we know it will collapse. Because OTF has always been Durk's house, his kingdom, and a platform through which King Von's memory was supposed to shine. Durk has always prided himself on being the glue that held OTF together. He wasn't just a rapper in the spotlight. He was a general, the boss, the mentor who gave his crew a chance at something better than the streets. But with him behind bars, OTF risks crumbling into chaos. Without strong leadership, we've seen countless rap crews dissolve into internal conflicts, betrayals, and fade into obscurity. And that's the biggest fear, because OTF wasn't just about music. It was about loyalty, family, and survival. King Von embodied that spirit more than anyone, and after his tragic death, it was Lil Durk who took it upon himself to keep Von's name alive. From tributes in his songs to putting Von's image on the forefront of OTF's brand, Durk made sure fans would never forget his fallen brother. But if Durk is gone, who steps up to carry that torch? Who makes sure Von's voice isn't drowned out in the sea of new rappers fighting for relevance? That's where the fear of insulting Von's legacy comes in. Losing OTF doesn't just mean losing a label. It means Von's name risks becoming another tragic memory in rap's long list of lost talents, rather than the everlasting legend many believe he deserves to be. Von's music told raw stories, his presence was magnetic, and his energy was unmatched. But legacies need caretakers. Tupac had people who carried his name, Nipsey Hussle had his city, to preserve his vision, and Pop Smoke's team worked overtime to push his posthumous releases. Von had Lil Durk, but with Durk locked up for 20 years or more, Von's story could fade quicker than it ever should. And that is why fans say Durk must fight with everything he has left to beat this case. But let's zoom out for a moment. This isn't just about music. It's about the streets. Hip-hop and the streets are intertwined, and everyone knows that when one of their own falls, enemies celebrate. Lil Durk has been in a long and bitter rivalry with NBA YoungBoy and his camp, and this sentencing will be used as ammunition by the opposition. The rap game is already buzzing with talks of how YoungBoy won this war, and how Durk's empire is collapsing. And in the ruthless politics of the industry, perception is everything. If the streets believe OTF is leaderless and weak, then it opens the door for rivals to attack. Not just musically, but in real life. That's why this trial is bigger than just Lil Durk. It's YoungBoy versus OTF. It's industry politics versus loyalty. It's the streets testing whether Durk's empire can survive without him at the helm. Now, let's break down what it means for Lil Durk personally. Beyond the fame, the numbers, and the headlines, Durk is a man who fought his entire life to escape the cycle of violence and poverty in Chicago. His music wasn't just entertainment. It was therapy, survival, and his way of telling the world his truth. To take that away from him for 2 decades means stripping him of his identity. Imagine an artist whose whole life has been about staying relevant, staying real, and staying ahead of the curve, suddenly trapped in a cell, unable to record, unable to tour, unable to even respond to his rivals. That silence will be deafening, and for someone like Durk, who has always used his voice as his weapon, it's the ultimate punishment. The fans know this, and that's why social media has been flooded with reactions since news of the sentence broke. People are devastated, arguing that the justice system is once again trying to take away a black artist at the peak of his powers, just like it did to countless others before. Supporters are demanding that Durk's team fight harder, bring in more legal experts, and do whatever it takes to prevent this temporary sentence from becoming permanent. Because make no mistake, if the courts don't get new evidence, this might be the last chapter in Lil Durk's career. And here's where it gets even more complicated. If Durk goes down, what happens to the next generation of OTF? Can someone like Lil Zay Osama do DlES, or even Von's younger affiliates carry the brand forward? Or will the crew fall apart without the general's guidance? The truth is, while OTF has talent, none of them have the global recognition or leadership qualities of Durk. He wasn't just another rapper. He was a strategist, the face, the man who kept OTF relevant in an industry that often forgets Chicago once the spotlight moves elsewhere. Without him, OTF risks fading into irrelevance, and with it, Von's legacy dims. Let's be honest, this is why the story is so tragic. Lil Durk's entire career has been about survival, about proving people wrong, about turning pain into power. He lost countless friends to the streets, buried his brother, and still stood tall enough to become a global superstar. He put Chicago drill back on the map after Chief Keef, and kept it alive with his own twist of melody and pain. He carried ODF on his back and turned it into a recognized force in hip-hop. And he carried Von's name in every verse, in every performance, making sure the world never forgot. To lose all of that now feels like a cruel ending to a story that was just starting to shine. But here's the twist. If anyone can bounce back, it's Lil Durk. His story has always been one of resilience, of fighting against impossible odds. The streets know it, the fans know it, and deep down, Durk knows it. That's why people are saying this case isn't over, that appeals will come, that his lawyers will fight tooth and nail to overturn this. Because if he loses, he doesn't just lose his freedom. He loses his empire, his brother's legacy, and his place in hip-hop history. So when we talk about Lil Durk's sentence, we're not just talking about another rapper in trouble. We're talking about the survival of OTF, the preservation of King Von's name, and the future of Chicago drill itself.